normally takes an event to wake up a sheep. Good morning. Heading to work with little Joe. For me, that event was 9/11. But unfortunately, I didn't wake up on that particular day. I did notice something odd about 3 years later. After I started reading articles, I saw videos, engineering newsletters and whatnot about 9/11. Unfortunately, the event didn't wake me up for a couple of years, 2-3 years down the line. But one thing I noticed about today's event, and the event that's now waking up today's people, today's sheep, is how the news immediately locked on to the agenda and unanimously utilizing the same nouns, adjectives, verbs, pronouns, are spewing the same identical agenda, the same words. 9/11 in comparison, within a half an hour, 45 minutes after the towers went down. By the way, I flew out of New York City that very morning, approximately an hour and a half before the towers were struck. And at that time, I just had gotten into photography. So I was carrying around my camera everywhere I went. It's a Nikon N90S, I remember it. A nice big lens on that thing. And I got a seat, window seat on the left side. And as we flew, that particular morning, as the plane curved towards the north to make that left turn to Michigan, I snapped a picture with Central Park all lined up and the Twin Towers in the foreground of the park. I'm sorry, the background. What am I saying? The background of the park, not the foreground. Within a half an hour, 45 minutes, all the news had their scripts, and they were telling us what it was. It was Bin Laden, without a freaking investigation. It was Bin Laden. It was him. It was him. Exactly what the news did during this event. Only this time, it was immediately. Not a half an hour, not 45 minutes later. It was immediately after Trump did that speech on that evening. What was it, 1 o'clock in the morning? Claiming that there was fraud. Immediately, you switch the channels and everybody, lock, stock, and barrel, were citing the same thing. There's no evidence of fraud. There's no evidence of fraud. In anger. That event, again, you got a lot of sheep waking up. And they're waking up to now the event that is unfolding before their eyes, and that is an election that was stolen from them. Like me, unfortunately, many of them really won't learn about today's. I'm using today as the event that's going on, the election. They're not going to learn about today's event for a few years now. Maybe some of them aren't aware. Oh no, I trust my government. They would never do anything like that. They're not going to really wake up, unfortunately, for 1, 2, even 3 years. Until they start to read about today's event in articles and YouTube videos. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. You have a lot of new voters who voted for the very first time. You have a lot of people from the African American communities who strictly voted Democrats, now switching over to Republicans because they're tired of the Democrat lifestyle, I'll just say. You have a lot of the Latin communities who've done the same thing. Took that chance on a Republican for the first time. And boom, it was snatched from them. You know, they're starting to learn. They'll start to learn that slavery never ended. It is being perfected.